Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth Jordan, Chat With Me 23. In this next few episodes of videos, I will be reading snippets from my first debut novel, Thank You for the Kiss. I do hope that you enjoy my readings, and I hope that you feel inspired enough to go and buy the book on Amazon, available in hardback, paperback, and ebook. So welcome once again, and I hope that you enjoy this reading, which is a continuation from my first video. Park Central, the heart of old Havana, sparkled in the sunlight, surrounded by tall and stately jacaranda trees. In each corner of the plaza, groves of white-scented mariposa flowers grew, delicate yet bold, and dried-up baptismal-shaped fountains sat idly, no longer playful. Old men sat closely together, waiting, some wearing discolored ragged khaki jackets and Che Guevara berets, medals pinned to the brim, their long, knobbly fingers dangling across their crossed, bony knees. Some limply held or read a newspaper, others pulling on a thin, papery roll-up, spittle stuck between yellowing teeth. Eyes, like cataractus and watery blue, peering out from beneath wisps of greying hair, barefooted, grimy, with ragged toenails. Men who have endured frugality. Arturo, I had taken his photo on a previous, happier trip, stood apart. He leaned with one bare foot against the lamppost, proud and tall, his bearing bringing me up short as I looked at him. His stature awakened in me other older images of Cuba, as though peering at faded black and white snapshots of its historical defiance against a regime that sought to dismantle its people's soul and dignity. Those old men of Cuba held memories and postures of former soldiers, still fighting for their thread of life as is still in that great revolutionary war, alongside the iconic Che Guevara. They sat hoping for a tiny handout given in exchange for a souvenir photo for some tourist to take home and pin up on a wall somewhere. My now sleepy eyes took in the young men, redolent in different corners of the plaza, one leg propped up on a bench, the latest cotton canvas Converse on their feet, impeccably dressed, their eyes roving, darting, looking unobtrusively or purposefully over tourists, all possible opportunities. A scene I saw repeated in every city as I traveled around Cuba. Sitting on that old stone bench, the waiting becoming a purgatory. How much longer would this continue? I let time while away. Following a movement in front of me, I allowed my eyes to track the short flight of a bird as it flew to the top of a tall plinth, settling on the head of the white marble statue of Jose Marti, a young hero of the old Cuban Revolution. His marble memorial, surrounded by graceful, leafy green royal palm trees, as their outspread fronds danced to the gentle rhythm of the sea breeze blowing off the Malecon, Havana's famous waterfront. Marty gave his young life for Cuba's independence. It was a revolution that would change Cuba from a rich, sugar-producing country with its capital Havana built on borrowed lines of elegant Spanish architecture of cavernous proportions, to a run-down, abandoned city. Across from Marty stood a golden-topped cathedral, richly carved, its white stucco and stone edifice rising like a star. A shining blaze to the lofty offices of tobacco companies, where one can buy those famous Cohiba cigars. But don't buy them from that store. Find a pretty boy to take you around a back street where the same can be bought. A box of 20 for $100, 30 for him, and 70 for the seller. Always a helping hand around the corner. I pressed the recall buzzer on the button of the phone endless times, but a long, slow buzz told me he would not answer. Throughout the day, a furious, continuous sound of vehicles circled the plaza. There were the droning sounds of cars, buses, honking, traffic lights on wires blinking, and pedicabs blaring out reggaeton and salsa music, making hips unconsciously wiggle and sway. From the shade of the old 1896 Hotel Inglaterra, a continuous humdrum of tourists and locals, eager and impatient, hurried in all directions of streets and alleyways, under a sun burning with fury and fire. Late afternoon brought a sudden hush as the sun, its glowing heat vaporously rising with its creeping tendrils of humidity. The frazzled heat had arrived. Still and sticky, and somnolence descended. A passing ice cream vendor stopped across from me. I pulled myself up and walked towards him, buying a moment of coolness, anything to bring down the rage inside me. My senses had begun to drift across waves of the afternoon's suffocating heat as I tiredly looked at the old men still sitting on the plaza. The mood of the afternoon shifted slightly as elderly, greying-haired ladies joined them, wearing overwashed, long, faded floral dresses, patches of threadbare fabric. A freshly cut large hibiscus flower, its petals smooth like the skin of silk, its red reminiscent of their youth, artfully tucked into pinned back hair. From their arthritic fingers hung cloth shopping bags, dragging bodies wearied by an age of living tough on meager handouts. Throughout the relenting heat of the day, as passers-by were in and around and passed me by, I began to feel a separation from myself as I crisscrossed shattered memories of recent events, called his phone, now at least 30 times, remembering promises of him coming. How much longer will you be before you come to Havana? I'll be there soon.